wouldn't have occurred to Harriet, Beatrice, or Alice to lift a finger to help her. It occurred to me, of course, but that hole of kitchen work was one I didn't care to fall into, because it was easy to see how those women would pull up the ladder, and there you'd be, hauling wood and water, making fires and tea for the rest of your life. We could have sent her on the cars to Miriam. Young people her age seemed to go on the cars without a speck of fear. Or Miriam could have come got her. This was Harriet. They pondered my sister Miriam, a spinster who'd taught reading to little Negro children in Yellow Springs. Harriet's tone revealed some sense of injury that Miriam was no longer capable of being of use in this way. But Miriam had been a strict woman, the sweetest but the strictest of them all. Her fondness for me had been mostly the result of the distance between us and our lively correspondence. I knew that even if Miriam were still living and I had gone to her on the cars and tried to stay with her, the sweetness would bit by bit have gone out and the strictness bit by bit come in. But I missed her. Miriam was genuinely fond of her. Beatrice expressed this as a great marvel. "Where is Lydia?" The sofa emitted a heavy groan. Harriet must have leaned forward and looked around for me. "Outdoors," said Alice. And I would have been, too, but my heavy morning dress, wool serge and button to the throat, gave the sunny summer hillside that was my usual resort all the attractions of the great Sahara Desert. I'd crept upstairs and undressed down to my shift. The black armor I would soon need to don again seemed to hold my shape where it lay over the back of a chair. I lifted the hem of my shift and fanned myself with it. "Out in the barn, most likely." Alice amplified her speculation with all the assurance of someone who never knew what she was talking about. "Oh, the poor orphan child!" exclaimed Beatrice, and for a moment I didn't realize she was speaking of me. "Alone in all the world." "She's 20 years old, sister." Harriet's tone was decidedly cool. "I was safely married at 20, I must say. If she's without suitors, who's to blame for that?" "And she has us," said Alice. Oh, the poor orphaned child, I thought. It was true, as they said, that I was useless, that I had perversely cultivated uselessness over the years, and had reached, as I then thought, a pitch of uselessness that was truly rare, or even unique, among the women of Quincy, Illinois. I could neither ply a needle or play an instrument. I knew nothing of baking or cooking, could not be relied upon to wash the clothes on washing day, nor lay a fire in the kitchen stove. My predilections ran in other directions, but they were useless too. I could ride a horse astride, saddle or no saddle. I could walk for miles without tiring. I could swim, and had swum the width of the river. I could bait a hook and catch a fish. I could write a good letter in a clear hand. I had been able to carry on a lively dispute with my sister Miriam, who'd been especially fond of a lively dispute. Worse, I was plain. Worse than that, I had refused the 3 elderly widowers who had made me offers and expected that I would be happy to raise their packs of motherless children. Worst of all, I had refused them without any show of gratitude or regret, so I freely concede there was nothing to be done with me. My sisters were entirely correct and thoroughly justified in their concern for me. It was likely that I would end up on their hands forever, useless and ungrateful. I stood up and moved away from the vent, suddenly weary of the certain outcome of their speculations. Back to Alice. Back to the strange languor of that life. It vexed me, too, that though their afternoon of complaint and self-justification would result in nothing new, they would make their way through it anyway, like cows following the same old meandering track through their all-too-familiar pasture, and coming upon the same old overgrazed corner as if it were fresh and unexpected. I looked out my window upon the slope in front of my father's house. There had been no funeral supper, none but the quietest and most subdued gathering of the few around town who'd known my father. Each of my sister's husbands had returned to his business or farm directly from the graveyard. All of us, I knew, would find a way to put off our mourning.